Hi, this is Steve here in my workshop in Bellevue. Today I want to talk to you about these utility lights. These utility lights are the Shopsmith Utility Lights. You can see the Shopsmith name right on here. And they are actually made for Shopsmith by a company called Moffett Products in Watertown, South Dakota. So if you can't find these any longer from Shopsmith, I don't think they're selling them anymore, you might go to Moffett and see if they can provide them for you. They make these for a number of different companies, a different number of different models. The nice thing on the Shopsmith one is that they have a mounting bracket that you can still order these brackets from Shopsmith. The kit comes with the bracket here itself. This is what it looks like right here. And this bracket then, whatever you're going to mount it to, it's got two screw holes here. It comes with a drill bit that you'll use to tap your hole, and then the screws themselves are self-tapping, and then they will create threads for it into the hole that you do, and you would mount it onto the side of whatever you were going to mount it to. So that's how those work. And then of course the light itself has a bracket here that just slips right into that bracket right there. And that's how those work. And so as you can see here, I have the Shopsmith routing system. This is no longer made or sold, but I have this mounted. I have two of them mounted right here on my routing system. And when I want to do some work, I can get plenty of light by turning on both of these lights. And you can see how much that adds to light for my work surface. So that's for this tool. Now we're going to move on to the next tool. So here we are over on my router table, and I chose to mount two of the Shopsmith lights on my router table as well. And of course, you can see here how much light that adds to my router table. And I've mounted the brackets here. I've just screwed them right into the sides on either side. So that's it for this tool. We'll move on to the next one. Now here on my Jointmatic, I've got a bracket mounted right here, and I've got a light here, which then gives me plenty of light for working on my Jointmatic. And now we'll go on to our next tool. So here we are on my Sawsmith radial arm saw, and I have two of the lights mounted here. We've got a bracket on the side here and a bracket on the side here. And when we turn on the lights here, you can see what that does for the work. All right, now down to our last tool. Here we are on the last tool I have it mounted on. It's right here on the bandsaw. I put the bracket here on this side over here. That's the metal side of the cover. And that lights it up very nicely right there. So now I've shown you all the tools that I've got it mounted to. There's one last place you can mount it, and that's directly to your Mark V or Mark VII itself, right onto the fence. Now, it doesn't matter if you have the Mark VII, the Mark V, the Mark IV, the Mark 520S, the Shopsmith Mark V Model 520, the Shopsmith Mark V 510, or even if you have the original 500, as long as it has that latest fence with the T-track on the top of the fence, you can mark it right on, well, mount it right on the fence on your machine itself. And I'm going to show you that here next. All right, here we are here on my Mark IV, and we can mount it two different places here. We can mount it on the fence in the T-track, or you can actually mount it in the T-track in the table itself. And you'll need this special bracket here that Shopsmith sells. Looks just like this. And of course, here it's got the attachment bracket for putting the light on. And this just slides right into the T-track here. I can show you here. I can do it right here on the top of the fence. We do it there. Put our light right in. And there we are. Or if you don't want it there, there's times you may want to put it in the actual table itself. In that case, We'll mount this right over here. Well, I'm going to have, my cord's not long enough, but that's okay. That can mount right there as well, if you want it to. And there we are. So that's all the different places that you might want to mount your utility light. I really like them. They just really give you a great amount of light. They're real convenient. You can adjust them any way that you want. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped you.